Welcome back to another video. Today I'm looking at the Nitecore UT27. This is a head torch that Nitecore have sent in, and the reason I'm looking at this is purely because I think it's quite an interesting little package that they have. So I'm going to carry on with my normal unboxing, give you a bit of a commentary going through and some of my thoughts with this head torch. Included with the pack on this you get a bag, but they've also, instead of just making it a black bag, they've made it a white bag, so you can use this as a diffuser on the head torch. That's quite a neat idea. It's a good idea to do that rather than just having a dark bag to keep stuff in. So I think someone has been thinking about things with the bundle on this head torch. Here's your user guide, and there is a quick start guide. There's your Type A to Type C charging cable. What Nitecore have done with this one is gone for dual LED. I actually have that upside down, so I'll turn it around. And we have a flood, which has a higher kelvins, in other words cooler, and the spot is quite a warm white. Controls, we have the W and T. I assume that means wide and telephoto. For the different beam patterns, they do stick up a bit, but not too much. Fairly easy to find, decent size. Angle of adjustment on this is quite good. It goes pretty much straight down, not quite, but quite close to that 180 degrees. The cell that they have is a lithium polymer, and it's rated for 1300 milliamp hour. You'll notice the marking there to show you where to pull it out. When you take it out, you'll see that the battery compartment has the markings for the AAA batteries, and it's also clear. And here's a quick shot showing you the AAA's fitted into the head torch, and here we can see why they've gone with a transparent plastic, because it is glow in the dark in the battery compartment. Quick close up on the battery, you'll see the positive and negative terminals are separated on different sides. There's a close up on the Type C connector, so you can just plug straight into that and then start to charge it. Here's a quick close-up on the head strap, and you can see that there is a silicone strip going around about a third of the length. If you're wearing it on your head, that could keep sweat off if you're working out or running. Also, if you've got it on a hard hat or a safety helmet, that should keep it in place. You can see they've gone with a perforated design on the material, give a bit of ventilation. The grey Nitecore writing, that is light reflective as well. It is possible to take this off. There is a split in one of the buckles if you need to remove the head strap. It's also quite wide as well, so it doesn't dig into your head. I'm going to go over the user interface now, and you can see we have a single press on either of those buttons gives you your battery level. To turn either of the LEDs on, just a long press with those, and it's also a long press off. Just an additional press to cycle through the two power levels. There's no memory with this, but it does start on the lowest output for either of those LEDs. As we only have two power levels for each LED, I'm okay with that myself. Interestingly, they have added a beam switching mode, so you just press the other switch when the LED is on and it turns over to that, and it does remember the setting when you switch back. To get to the red LEDs, double press, and then a single press will cycle through the static and then flashing modes. If you want to get to the turbo mode, all you need to do with that is when it is on, double press either of the switches, and then a press again will turn it back to the previous level. And Nitecore have also included a lockout. Just push and hold both of those buttons, and that will also unlock it as well. I'm glad they included that, because if you are storing it and something jams into one of the switches, that will prevent it from coming on. Here's the battery test that I did, and you can see the results there on the screen. It takes just under 1 hour 3/4 to fully charge from flat. Battery did come in a bit higher than normal rating, but do remember that is a charge capacity test, not a discharge test. Onto the beam shots now. We'll start off with the Unicorn. That's the standard reference light that I've been using for a while. Moving on to the head torch with the flood setting at the lowest at 55 lumens, you can see that it is not a huge range on this. It does pick up when you get up to the 200 lumens, but it is a very floody light. Once you switch over to the other LED, the spot, you can see it's much more focused, and it's also a lot warmer in tint. and you get quite a decent range out of this when you're on the high level in the spot mode at around about 400 lumens. Here is the turbo, which is both of those combined. They're not at the highest output. Gives you quite a nice mix between range and a bit of spread on the light. What I've done is some more beam shots, so do have a look through those, and I'll give you my summary at the end. Some of my thoughts overall with the UT27. I am quite impressed with this in most regards. They've done a pretty nice job. I particularly like the fact that you can use the lithium battery and replace it if you need to. You can get spares, and in addition to that you can use the AAA batteries, which are very easy to get hold of. There's quite a nice mix on the beam pattern as well, from a very floody to quite a nice spot, giving you a bit more range. There's only really a couple of points that I would mention, and that is that we don't have a moonlight mode. I would have liked to have seen something sort of sub 10 lumens, at least on one of the beam patterns. Don't forget, as usual, any thoughts on this, leave me a comment below, and I'll see you in my next one.